You know what, too? They had a lot of injuries to key guys during the year. Yeah, it's a good game.
Today's Grand Prix is the culmination of the action for the individual competitors at this first leg of the 2023 Major League Show Jumping season here in Vancouver. Thursday's qualifying competition saw some fantastic sport with some brilliant combinations coming forward. That was eventually won by Daniel Coyle with Gisborne VDL, and they will be ones to watch in the Grand Prix. But we have plenty of others to come who are certainly ones to look out for.
Absolutely, some newer young riders in there, of course, with Caroline Mulwiney we saw go well. She's going to be one to maybe look for later on to the season. But, of course, the stalwarts, like those top 10 riders that we've seen, Kent Farrington, and, of course, you can't look past the world number 10 rider too in Connor Swale. He goes so well here. Had one fence down in the qualifier, but I think he'll be back with a big bite.
We'll be taking you through every second of the action live. Watch it all on MLSJ TV. Well, here we are at Thunderbird Show Park in this beautiful sand arena. And this is somewhere that the riders have been competing already this week, of course, in the team competition yesterday and as well in the 5-star qualifier, which took place on Thursday. But this is the big one. This is what all of the riders have been aiming towards all week in the individual standings. The course has been set. The riders have walked the course. They've had a chance to have a look around and they've got their very best horses selected for this competition. Stephen Wild and Ed Holloway will be taking you through all of that on the live stream, and the action's kicking off in just a moment's time.
Not coming forward, and down to the rest to take a look as we go. As I say, they go in reverse order of their scores from round one. Strong group in there, including World Championship Canadian rider Erin Ballard and Gakia. Grant Sager, who goes fourth, was a US rider who was also into second place in the team competition yesterday, into the ride-off for the gold as well. So that brings us a strong group to start off with, but is just a third of what to expect. Here's the second group. Caitlin Campbell of the USA and Amir makes her way up from the West Coast. Ashley Vogel, the under-25 winner from Wellington in Florida this year, goes for the US with Mandiba AGZ. Alongside the youth in there is the well-experienced Mario Delorier of Canada, the multi-Olympian with Emerson. Alison Robitaille of the USA, many-time Grand Prix winner. Okingham Lyra is a new ride to this level. Several big 5-star Grand Prix wins behind him. Carl Cook of the USA, the Californian, will go 17th in our order with Kalinka. And then down to a few new faces 2 with Zuma Gallagher and Kalakas D. Alexis Sokolov now, again, another what was new to the level last season, is stepping up further and further, and Jessica Mendoza in our first 20 of those going. And remaining group, of course, as I say, it goes in reverse order, will take us right the way down to the final few, being Jordan Coyle, Dara Kenny and Kent Farrington in the last few. So that's going to be interesting. Let's take a look at the course of what's coming up, set by Olaf Petersen Jr. of Germany, our course designer here this week. So looking forward to this. It's a big track, and well, it's a time allowed of 73 seconds and around 14 numbered fences on the course overall, and it'll take us 1 to 2 on a 6-stride distance down there. Good flowing run to a 150 vertical. And so turning back to the Major League show jumping wall at fence 3, the B's coming up at fence 4, and then a little choice there. They could go the 8, they could go the 7 strides down to 5, the Premier Equestrian fence at the vertical there at 1 metre 60. And from there then it is up a triple combination to 6A, B and C. 7 is going to be the grey poles there, 160 vertical, a little bit skinny. You can see that just to the left of your line as we stand at the moment, and that's going to be a tough one indeed to hold the line there. Big triple bar at 8, 9A and B 10, and then final line 12, 13 and 14 coming right up the centre, finishing over the Voltaire fence at 14. And welcoming out our singer and flag-bearing team for this afternoon to start off proceedings with the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Well, as they head out, our first about to head in for the lineup of our 34 in this class. An exciting lineup and a big class and a big set of fences to take on here. I say 73 seconds time allowed if they have a fence down. Well, that is 4 faults. Stop on course is 4 faults as well. Ideal scenario is to jump around all 14 fences, leave them all up, and that's you done for round 1, but not done and dusted for the class. $414,300 in the prize fund as part of this Canadian premiere here this week in this Major League show jumping Grand Prix. Set for a thriller, as I say, coming up in the final groups. You're going to see Daniel Coyle, you see Jordan Coyle, it is Dara Kenny and Kent Farrington to round things out. But starting us off to a final discussion there with Shane Sweetnam, trainer, Lacey Gilbertson of Lake Forest, Illinois, with the Seabrook LLC's Carlin van Veenerhof. Really consistent combination to this season so far and into last as well. 67 top rounds they've jumped together, 54% clear of the time, and that included finishing top 3 at the American Gold Cup last year against actually her trainer Shane Sweetnam, that you just saw in shot. Alongside me is Ed Holloway as well, coming to join in the action. And Ed, beautiful day, couldn't be any better.
Thank you, Steve, and a very good afternoon to you. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this, the first of the Major League show jumping legs for this year. And it's a massive course set by Olaf Petersen. We are set, 34 combinations, 6 nations represented. I think we're in for a thriller this afternoon, and we get underway.
Yeah, Lacey, I say, been really good with this horse. Finished second into the Kentucky Invitational just a few weeks ago. to finish well there, so comes in with plenty of confidence and went strongly in yesterday's team class as well. So let's take you through the track as we go. It is going to be a 145, 150 fence to start us off. 150 with the second with that T-bird orange and pink colours. Roll back here to the Major League show jumping wall. They've got a good eye on that now. They've seen it for a couple of seasons, and a lovely flowing line down that, potentially on the 5 strides down there to the Bees fence, and just going round really nicely over the Premier Equestrian fence at fence 5. Now this triple combination, Ed.
Yeah, I mean, this mare is making this start of the course look comfortable, and it's a beefy start. Lacey just 29 years of age. Colin van ter Veldenhoff's got great form this year, second in the 4-star Grand Prix at Wellington. First blemish though comes the plank at 7, sadly dispatched.
Big triple bar at the top end of the arena, 2 meters 10 in spread, and then just got to keep the control here. Vertical on the way, and again that's where he's looking to catch you out. They get high, they don't get wide through the second part there, 165 spread there, and again that will cost them a second on course. And it's a long track as well, as you'd expect for a big money class like this. And right the way up the centre here to the skinny silver poles, just very light there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 down to the last, and a 170 spread on the finishing fence, 72.57, so just a touch under the time allowed of 73 seconds, but 2 down on the 8, a good shot over the wall there. Triple combination. Just that little plank is going to be one that is going to be staying, I think, on the floor quite a bit. They're going to be dusting sand off that.
Yeah, it's a good path-finding round from Lacey Gilbertson. Couple down. It's a long way home though, Steve, and I'm fascinated to see out of 34 combinations how many will come home with a clear round. Yeah,
we got, as I say, go into reverse order as well of those coming through in qualifying. So in theory, we get those that are in the hottest form coming into this literally this week, but that doesn't mean they're not coming in on form for weeks before. This another rider who's stepping up actually here into their first 5-star here for the competitions here at T-Bird, and it's Luis Gerardo Castaneda Mercado of Mexico, and also competed through some of the World Cup shows down in Mexico in Puebla, and also to the recent internationals in San Miguel, where actually won a 2-star Grand Prix there last season. But this is a big step up from that on this 11-year-old stallion that the pair coming together in May last year. Untakeable, and hopefully they don't take any poles with them. Good start.
Yes, Luis is 31 years of age. Started show jumping internationally back in 2009. Comes down to this meaty wall, gets into the foot of it. And that's a very big oxer. Plum square, Steve at 4. Doesn't pull any punches early, Olaf Peterson this afternoon.
Just trying to cut in there a little to 5, and just gets a little bit tight for them. Triple combination just gets deep in there and underneath that final part. As I say, this is the first time this pair have come up to anything of this level. So again, all with their own different missions, but jumping well.
Yeah, this would be a real lifer, wouldn't it, as a first 5-star Grand Prix course. It's a very big triple bar as well at the top of the stadium. That also goes.
Really, for them, it's about getting a good, solid experience. And the final line on the 12 as it stands. Just gets a little tight to the middle part there, and so we'll leave them with some time faults as well. 76.65, 16 for jumping, and that will take them up to 20 in total, so full for timing there. It's 1 second for every second commenced over the time allowed these days, and 16 turns up to 20. Again, not the end of the world for Luis coming into their first major step up in Grand Prix action for them. So for 2 gone so far of our lineup. And it'll be another into their first time here into the 5-star Grand Prix. And this is for Braden James of here in British Columbia in Canada. Jumps the big tracks over at Spruce Meadows in Calgary. So 4th in the Grand Prix here last year as well, but that wasn't at this same level. We're looking more at 3-star from that point of view. And here with the 15-year-old stallion, also was produced with Ranzi Al-Dahami, DJ. For Braden James on his first spin around here into these 5 stars. Lovely to see big crowds out here again. Lovely family day here at T-Bird. It's a lovely family-centered venue as well.
Yeah, celebrating 50 years. This year started here back in the early 70s. Braden James hails from Kamloops, which is due east of our base here.
Yeah.
We're just down to the southeast of Vancouver. The Equestrian family started international jumping this guy in 2008. His first major league start here this afternoon. He makes a punchy start. Steve puts his cards on the table.
Yep.
Little rattle going in, but everything is intact.
Ooh, little bit of a move to get through there. Worked hard for that one. Still intact at the moment. Clears the plank, and this is holding up well so far. Big part of these long Grand Prix courses, I was about to say, is holding the nerve around. Just, that's where they can catch them. A big, very imposing looking triple bar coming into there, and just not quite committed at the spot they wanted, so has a stop. We'll see whether he carries on or not.
Yeah, it's a monster fence. They've jumped the treble, then they have that little sharp, quite right-handed turn to 7, which comes up pretty acutely, and then off that turn you've got to be very quick back into a power fence, and sadly Braden James unstuck at that monster triple bar.
The team just on a rebuild. So 34 in total. As I say, early stages we'll see a few of those into their first attempts at these big 5-star classes, but they have to come at some point, and we're into the spring. Good part of the year. This is where the horses are coming into the right age group as well. All that work through the winter all starts to come together. So here we go.
Yeah, that would have been a gut-wrenching moment for him at his debut 5-star Grand Prix, but can he now quickly think back to that good form earlier in the round, put that behind him?
No. Unfortunately not.
Second attempt there,
so Bell will go. That is elimination, I'm afraid. And they'll be back for more. Had a good start. Up to that point it was going well, but unfortunately as well, once it's broken and the confidence is a little bit broken as well, to come to a big triple bar like that doesn't quite work out. So let's go on to Grant Sager, who has got a bit more form under his belt so far. Grant with Cantuccini. 55 international rounds they've jumped together. 26% of the time they produced a 0 score. Jumped last year into the Grand Prix in Ottawa on Major League Jumping. That was their only other 5-star start. 12 faults, 3 down on that occasion. But again, they've built up plenty of rounds since then as well, through a number of the 4 stars, which is just a level below this, but is a nice building ground for them coming up, including in Wellington, Florida. And if you're doing well in a 4-star down there, you should be able to tackle a 5-star too, from that point of view. Nations Cup appearance. That means a team appearance for Team USA last year in Spain. And he had a very good day yesterday. He was second in the team competition into the battle for the gold. Went up against Amy Miller, so we did very well indeed. Amy pulled out this kind of form that shows why she's a Canadian Olympian.
Yeah, Grant Seeger was a quicker time, but the penultimate went yesterday to deny Crusaders' opening victory in the first of the Major League team competitions yesterday afternoon, but it was impressive in that gold medal match. Cantuccini is away. 12-year-old Oldenburg gelding, side by Cloney Damsahir Kalido the first. They've been down at Wellington. Start of this season entirely. That's a big ox up. Can't quite make the back bar.
Just a bit hesitant at the wall, and that's where the problem was coming. And then was just trying to get going down that line. And that's why it's all been put together as it is. Get over the plank again. Little plank there, just hovering there to catch them out. Solidly over the triple. The crowd gives a little ripple of appreciation. They're appreciating how hard it is. It's tough to say when somebody has a bad run at a fence, but it also reiterates how good the rest are, and how you can have a good day and a bad day, and everybody has a good day and a bad day, even the best.
And it's great to see packed grandstands, both the top end of the arena and on the long side as well. There are spectators here in force. Sadly, problems compounding for Grant Seeger and Cantuccini. Not quite singing this afternoon.
No, has a look down into the water and a side swipe there, so I think he's going to come back to that last fence.
I walked in and I thought it was tough, Steve, and that is reflected. Yes, some new combinations to this level, but I think we're in for an exciting afternoon in terms of how many clears will we attain.
Finishes on a score of 20 at 90.05, and time to add to that, so that will take them up to 38 in total, 20 for jumping, and 38 as the final score for Grant Sager there, and Cantorcini for the Grey Frocks crossing for them. So again, showing it's not an altogether easy afternoon, but that's why the sport is competing for a lot of money. Over 400,000 on the table here today, and that is not a giveaway from that point of view. And this lady's won plenty of those big classes before now and taken home prize money, but for Canada across all borders. And it's Erin Ballard from Tottenham, Ontario, with Alain Ferrer and the Esperanza imports Gakia. And now this was the horse that she rode at the World Championships in Herning last year. And on the winning Nations Cup teams back down into Wellington of Florida this year as well. She's been on to the top teams here too, when Canada won a couple of seasons ago here at Thunderbird. Finished top 3 in the World Cup qualifier in Texas at Fort Worth with this horse. Again, one of the top catch riders as well, but just a terrific combination to see. Now, interestingly, they're fairly early to go here, but this should be a good gauge, hopefully, for the rest of the class.
Yeah, this is the first, I think, fair to say, of our big hitting combinations. Erin Ballard away. Echo FEI Worlds with Gakia last year. And as we say, this will be our real indicator of just how tough the course of Olaf Peterson is this afternoon. We think difficult, we'll see right now.
It's a good shot in.
He's acrobatic, isn't he? Down the triple line.
He's testing you with the delicacy there and the boldness then coming into this big triple bar. That's a good crowd wower. Just can leave you a little far off that middle oxer in that line.
The home crowd sitting on the edge of their seats understandably.
73 will be interesting to see. It's going to get a little close.
Yeah, it's just going to be over, I think. Steve.
Yeah, going to be a little too close, I think. Ooh, 72.49. Just squeaks in there for Erin Ballard. Plots her way around and gives up clear round number 1 of the field so far in this Major League Grand Prix this afternoon. $414,300. Going to be exact to down to the zeros. And down to the hundreds featuring in there. So Erin Ballard and Gakia get some good home adulation.
Yes, the home nation are in business. They've got 10 combinations this afternoon. Canada just inside time. We know that will also be influential. Olaf Pedersen has said a mighty test. Great clear, well done to Erin Ballard.
So Erin Ballard sets the pace for the rest. As I say, it's all about getting the clear first and foremost. With the standard of those coming up, I think we'll see a few of those. I'm not going to put a number to it at the moment. We might chat to some of our riders later and see how they feel about it. Alicia Gadban-Lewis and Beneficial. And Alicia from Delta, British Columbia, again not too far away. Jumps a good double clears in the 5 stars at Spruce Meadows as well last summer as well. Was into the Nations Cup a few weeks ago, the show there in California.
She's impressive, Steve, because she only started jumping in 2020. The following year, 2021, she was the Canadian national champion. So she's hit the heights pretty quickly. She's a very good skier as well, as are many from this nation. Mountains in the backdrop here at Thunderbird.
Yes, the big resorts of the likes of Whistler, not too far away.
And it's made a quick enough start here, as if to have seen the time of Erin Ballard and thought, right, I better get a wiggle on.
Yeah, they've not left a lot. The first few haven't given us a really good guide because they've had problems, but Erin Ballard giving us the best guide there for the time.
But I think noticeably quicker here.
She goes on the 4 there, just gives a shiver to the plank. Just again another one not to make the back bar of Knights. 165 in spread. They can cut in there. They just got the 8 down there by the looks of it. It can go out to get the 9, but again, if they're going to be running for the time, it's going to make it hard. Just gets underneath then. The last few fences are tumbling, I'm afraid. And again, it's going to be a test of stamina this afternoon. So it takes them to a total of 20 at 72.83. for Alicia Gadban-Lewis and Beneficial. And as I say, another combination that haven't had acres of 5-star experience behind them. It's going to feel like a marathon this afternoon.
Once poles start falling out there, Steve, it's a long way home, and it gets a little bit messy at the end, but very good start for Alicia Gadban-Lewis and Beneficial.
It's on to Mexico and Francisco Pascal Vega. Dominant 2000 Z. Younger rider, having been into the juniors, top 10 there in the championships in 2021. Just 19 years of age, and 4 wins previously on home ground in Jalapa down in Mexico. Finished well in the 2-star Grand Prix in Mexico City back into April, but again that's another level up for what we've got here this afternoon. So I say withdrawal of Nal Nasser, so should be moving on to Francisco at this point. Or Mexico City.
Yes, youngest this afternoon at 19, second of the 3 this afternoon for Mexico in this first of the 10 legs of the Major League Series in its 3rd year of running over 3 nations. Mexico part of that series with Monterrey, Steve, to come later this year in November.
Just something they're changing, whether they broke a pole, not sure, but the arena crew just doing something out of the course at the moment before getting underway. You can see from Erin Ballard's round, we've seen her already with Alicia. Okay, she was round at 72.83 and had poles down. Lacey Gilbertson again, maybe more of an indicator there on the 8 faults there at 72.57.
Time certainly has got to be born, not in the very front of your mind, but certainly not in the back of your mind either. Back to Francisco Pascal Vega. He gets underway, young gun for Mexico, with dominant 2000 Z. That's a Diamond semi-sun. Looking for a second clear in the Major League Grand Prix. Powerful horse, isn't it?
Just a little touch there. Time-wise, I think he's going to be in trouble early on. He's taking it a little bit carefully there. But again, that's part of getting experience. He's a 19-year-old coming into this class.
Sadly, first blemish out of the treble combination. This horse very keen to get on with the job, so not making young Francisco's life any easier, having just to settle this horse on approach. Does a good job down there. Second of the combinations.
Yeah, getting into the groove, and again, really back grinding out this run. Turns up tight to that fence. Costs them another rail, and it leaves them tight on the next as well, and a little bit out of balance to the final fence, so going to leave them at 16.77.21. Again, not the end of the world. Time to add as well to that, it is 21 in all for Francisco Pascal Vega and dominant 2000 Z. See down this final line, it just all starts to get a little bit tight down there.
Yeah, this course continues to bear its teeth, but as we say with the qualifier, we've got a bottom-heavy group in terms of the, well, not, you wouldn't like to say quality, but certainly the informed combinations will come later. So we may see a flurry of clear rounds.
Sam Walker now of Ontario, Caledon, Ontario, Forest Hill Farms at Nalu Quality. On this 10-year-old mare that's been coming through well this season, which has been really interesting to see the step up with this horse. And 43% out of 24 rounds having jumped clear. And for him, well, he had a terrific reel last year, including, of course, he's still young enough to be into the young riders then. He was team bronze on that occasion. I think just a brick out of the wall.
Yeah, Sam Walker, another young gun, 21. He's a big talent, sporting across the board. He's a very good single-figure golfer as well. Mum and Dad Scott and Dee Walker, professional show jumpers.
Some nice balance through there. And this is a pair that have been getting some very good round mileage time down in Florida this year. Has been working with Uli Kirchhoff, the 96 Olympic champion. Again, just settling in now.
But there's a man, Steve, I think Canada have got high hopes of in the future. He was named Canada's Question of the Year back in 2018. Last goes as well, sadly. Sam Walker comes home with a little handful, and this course continues to prove demanding. That's now quality finished.
Yeah, just picking up the one time then, but again, I don't think too much to worry about there. I think there'll be a lot to see of this pairing through the season. Just fall short coming at the Oxford, and then this final line, there's a few that again just start to open up over that vertical and drop a rail there. So now quality finishing on 13, one time fault there for Sam Walker. Shauna Cook will be next, and from Sherwood Park, Alberta, with Gallup, 12-year-old. And again, in terms of 5-star action, this is their first time into the 5-star Grand Prix, but she's had a really good run in Thermal down in California throughout the winter, and previously has put several 3-star wins together in Spruce Meadows last year in Calgary too. So got some good form, but just needs to handle the level. They could well do that. They've been featuring in several of the big classes over the winter months.
So still just the one clear. Erin Ballard for Canada. Canada now try and double up their money. This lady from Carousel Ridge in Alberta, that's her training base. She's been there since 2008. And Gallup has made a good start as they come down to this Premier Question. The footing partner of the Major League Series, their vertical, clears it well. It's a good start here.
Oh, and drops the rail.
Fatal last words.
Despite what people think, we have nothing to do with it.
You sometimes struggle to believe that, Steve.
We have nothing to do with it.
Uncanny.
Good shot at the triple bar. Again, get the 8 down there, they get in there, and it just leaves them short if they've got to be going forward over that next Oxford down there at 9 at 165. Together.
But 34 starters, and this is combination number 9 already. We're getting towards a third of the way through, still with that one clear only. So if the stats hold true, of course, we know it's a dominant second half, so probably there'll be more to come, but we've been on target for about 3 or 4 clears at this point, but we think there'll be more because of the best in the qualifying class to come a little bit later.
Shauna Cook then, total of 21 with the Gallup Syndicate's Gallup. Doesn't get more complicated for names of horses than that. I'm all for that one. Cancer, walk, trot.
Yeah, much
preferable
than these Belgian ones that get very, very long-winded.
I didn't say that, but you said that. Shauna Cook there and Gallup on 73.71. One clear so far, Erin Ballard and Gekia on 72.49.
The USA bring 13 to the battlefield here, first of the Major League Series for this year, and Caitlin Campbell will get the US's campaign continued, trying for their first clear, 31 years of age. She is the world number 287, based down near Galway Downs, one of the potential venues for the eventing for the LA Olympics. That is down near Temecula, San Diego in California. This was the Olympic ride of Argentina's Fabienne Sejan in Tokyo. New enough ride for Caitlin. Emir is the new starter.
Yeah, went round for the Grand Prix in Monterey last year for just the 4 faults, and again have got a bit more mileage on the clock since then. Jumped round in the recent 5-Star Nations Cup Grand Prix in San Juan Capistrano in California. Just jumped round for 12 faults on that occasion.
Caitlin out of the East Coast, Pennsylvania born, moved to California in 2016.
It's that Premier Equestrian vertical down, and a little steady I think so far, just watching them at the moment, being quite deliberate in their execution.
Let's mentioning fence locations here. Another tool up Olaf Petersen's sleeve. Steve, he's got that vertical not far from the in gate. fence 2 up
Yeah.
ahead of the big screen. So these are all the factors the court designer are weaving into their tapestry.
She goes on the wider, steadier 9, but again, still struggles to get out of that double. Bigger scores, but that always makes it an interesting class and shows the technicality and difficulty of what's being faced here. Coming home with time to add as well. 16 for jumping and a time of 80.36, and so the time to add on there as well takes them to a total of 24.8 to add on for time for Caitlin Campbell this time around. You see the little logo in the corner with the Roadrunner on it. That's because she's part of the Roadrunners team when the team competition takes place for Major League as well. So that's what she competes for. And total of 24 there at 80.36 for Caitlin Campbell and Amir. Still just the one clear on the top of the board at the moment with Erin Ballard and Gerkia on 72.49.
Interesting call, Steve, because they came out in a nice frame that was positive, it was confident, they didn't do a lot wrong, and still finishing up with a fistful of penalties. That just shows the demanding test this afternoon puts to our combinations as it must.
Ashley Vogel and Mandeeba AGZ for the winner of the U25 title. Looks like we're going over. Tali Dion was due to go next, but is Ashley Vogel down in the ring. Finished 6th in the Grand Prix, the 4 stars back in February. As I say, won the MS Under-25 title in Wellington this year, and just graduated down in Miami, the 22-year-old. He's also a Team Young Rider gold medalist back in 2021. Trains with the Shane Sweetnam team and just runs forward into just such a casual run into that first fence and takes that down. But it's been a big jumping combination. Again, not too many 5 stars for her as she steps up into this level here as well. But good, solid 4-star performances.
Yes, an interesting story for Ashley because she was 8 and her mother decided she needed a good birthday present, and it was a surprise present that Ashley was gifted by mum to the local stable, the barn, and that kicked her into equestrianism. So
that was an expensive present. That was an expensive present.
Very, very costly. Sadly, costly out on the course for Ashley. Mandeeba AGZ has a succession of errors. Then balloons out over that massive triple bar.
Nicely on the 5 down to 10, and they just come up to that 11 is a 160 vertical. This final line, fence 12 not wide at, well, at 1m20, height at 155, and it leaves them on a score of 20 in total at 74.48 for Ashley Vogel and Mandeeba AGZ.
But at 22, it's great experience, isn't
it?
It's come and jump this sort of a course. Yes, some blemishes, some scars, but great experience that Ashley Vogel will have gained this afternoon, courtesy of Olaf Peterson, our German designer.
So talking of experience, we go on to Mario Delorier and Emerson, experienced rider based in New York and rides for Canada, originally of course from Canada. And for the Wishing Well Farm is Emerson. Finished well in the Grand Prix of Greenwich last year. That's going to be a new stop on the tour for Major League show jumping this year. And for Mario, well, something like 12 World Cup finals he's competed at, including having won it, the youngest ever rider ever to win it, but in more recent times, Olympic Games in Tokyo with Bardolina, and has been really stepping this horse up very nicely, just been moving up the ranks with this. Went round for 4 faults in a 5-star Grand Prix in Wellington, Florida earlier on this season, and this is the year for this pair really to click and move on.
Yeah, I'm sort of thinking this could be the second clear round because Mario, 58, senior, but brilliant experience. And this lovely Belgian warm blood Emerson, as Steve said, has had a lot of good form. 3 podiums as well. Spruce Meadows, that was the summer of last year. Mario Delorier makes a good start here.
Nice and balanced down to the plank. And they ask for a different push here Gets plenty of air over that.
Back in the LA
Nice shot.
Olympics, Steve, fourth individually, fourth with the team in the 80s. That is this man's caliber.
Just the final run here. Well, it'll leave them on 471.69. Got a couple of choices coming down that line from 12 to 13. And another one just caught out by it, so leaves them on the 471.69. Goes into second so far for Mario Deloria, of course, with the one clear on the board with Erin Ballard and Gakir at 72.49. But the time really for them is all it counts towards is the fact they're inside the time allowed. So just actually the first one to be on only 4 faults there. Mario Deloria, and then Lacey Gilbertson in third at the moment.
That was a great round, Steve. That's the tale we've said a few times. It's a long, long way home. Penultimate goes for Mario Deloria and Emerson. The next to come, another of the same vintage as Mario Deloria and Alison Robitaille. We welcome World Games in Rome back in '98. She was 14th there individually. Pan Am's the year after in Winnipeg '99. Team Silver, 5 World Cup finals. Formerly Alison Firestone from Upperville, Virginia initially.
Yeah, Oakingham Lyra is another one that's just starting to move up. She took a break from the sport at one point, and for her she's been coming back through a list of the 2 and the 3-star Grand Prix, and in the last 12 months now starting to step more into the 5-star level once again. Really lovely bouncing movement down that line so far. Good attacking run down there from Alison. Won some of the major Grand Prix and World Cups around from Amsterdam through to the Queen's Cup at Hickstead. Terrific team rider for Team USA. It's a good run in here. Time-wise should be doing well.
Now this looks like a quick mare. Should they join the jump-off? 10-year-old daughter of Tornesh, Marlon Jonssen's very good stallion.
Got the 8 down there. There's quite a few have gone the 8 down to from the triple bar, which just takes them on slightly on the inside. But again, time-wise, they need to really. And then they just run out of steam getting to the back bar of the Oxer. So this is going to be not a million miles away on time. Should be at 71.35, finishing on the 4 faults. It's a good solid round from Alison Robitaille. Just the 1 down for them.
Yeah, that's a very good round from a 10-year-old mare. Just shows, though, you've got to keep your foot on the throttle. That was the mistake out of that second combination. Alison Robitaille.
So it puts Alison into second place at the moment on the 4 faults. Just 2 on 4 faults. Ali and Mario Deloria in third. Erin Ballard sitting at the moment on the clear. But remember, this order goes in reverse order. It's seeded in the sense that it came through qualifying, so the most in-form combinations, and that maybe some of the more experienced combinations, come up later and down towards the tail end of this first round. Looking across the Thunderbird Arena here. Some good crowds in the stand over to the left of your picture, then one just below us as well. It's very definitely full.
Yes, our crowds are having a feast of top-class equestrian sport here as Thunderbird celebrates its 50th birthday.
Now here's one that could really shake this up, and it is Carl Cook of Woodside, California. Kalinka won the Desert Horse Park Grand Prix at the latter stages, those 2 final stages of Major League Jumping last year. Won at the Hampton Classic. Finished top 3 in a very good Grand Prix in the 5-star down in Wellington. Went very well in a whole host of the legs of Major League Jumping last year, and has been really one of the horses everyone's looking out for. She could be a little bit exuberant at times.
Yeah, this is a significant venue for Carl Cook because he had his Nations Cup debut here back in 2016, so this is a venue that he knows and loves.
Won a World Cup here as well, back when I was here in 2016 as well. Yeah.
This mare's jumping beautifully. Yawning triple bar in her stride.
Gets across.
And must be quick enough as well.
should just be about right.
Oh,
7
tight
down
stick.
there. No, he's not going to make it. Very deliberate down that final line, and it just leaves them a fraction behind, 74.33, and it plots them to 2 time faults, I'm afraid, for Carl Cook and Kalinka, so they go close.
Yeah, and I can't say I'm not left surprised because it was a quick tempo, but again, that time bites another combination.
Well, yes, I'm here with the only clear of the day so far. Erin, that looked fantastic. How did it feel in here for you?
I think it must have felt as good as it looked. He really rose to the occasion. When I came in, there was some cheering. When I jumped the triple bar, there was some cheering. So I think he knew it was a big deal, and he really dug deep to jump the second half clean as well.
I heard you say as you came out, everything came up perfectly.
It did, and sometimes you just have one of those nights. It's a good ring for him. He doesn't get lost. He's actually, for a big horse, very good in a small ring. So I think it's a perfect ring for him, and it's a perfect setup to jump the Nations Cup next week.
And is there anything that we can expect to see from you in the jump off, just fast and clear, presumably?
Well, Edwina won in Madrid last week with the only clear, so I'm aiming for a win with the only clear. And if not, I go first on the jump off. I have to put everything on the table.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
We'll let you get back to your preparations. But yes, that is such an incredible performance in round 1. Just 1 clear. We have Carl Cook on the 2 time penalties. Back to you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Well, Ali Ramsey had a fantastic performance in the qualifier and is really one to watch in the Grand Prix here at Thunderbird Show Park. Ali, tell us about that performance in the qualifier and how does that make you feel ahead of the Grand Prix?
I mean, you can't ask for a better way to come into it. I thought that I didn't have to, use up all of my stride in order to do what I did in the jump off. So she feels like she's still going to be set up nicely, and yeah, I can't ask for a better result.
And what's the horse been doing in the day in between?
Today I haven't ridden her yet. Yesterday she just went for a light hack in her hackamore that she really likes. And then today I'll just give her a good flat before we show.
Making sure she's feeling fresh.
Exactly, yeah.
And so looking ahead to the jump off there, to the Grand Prix, we've got a big list of riders and horses here. Does that feel like a little bit of pressure, or are you feeling confident?
I love it. I love being surrounded by this caliber of riders, and it's been really cool being here, at a local show. Actually, I grew up competing at this show in the equitation and the small jumpers, so it's cool to come back here and be, surrounded by this level of riders and to be one amongst them, and to get to compete at the highest level here.
And tell us finally a little bit more about this horse. What's the horse's personality like?
She is, we always say that we're quite similar. She's a little sassy, but very sweet at the right moments. And she's a fighter, she's a winner, she's really a special horse. I've had her since she was 6, she's 12 now. I feel like we've really developed together, and I have a really special connection with that horse. And so that just makes it so much more exciting when she fights for you every time you go in the ring. It's more personal.
For 100 years, Odlum Brown has helped our clients achieve their financial goals. Coincidentally, this year also marks Thunderbird's 50th anniversary, and we would like to congratulate them on this monumental achievement. Over the last century, we have forged ahead through the Great Depression, World War II, the Great Financial Crisis, a global pandemic, and more. Along the way, we've adapted, evolved, and established our firm as a stable and trustworthy partner. Our 100th anniversary is a wonderful opportunity to celebrate the clients, team members, and communities that have made us who we are. We're thrilled to share this important milestone year with the team at Thunderbird. 100 years on, Odlum Brown's story is still being written. We look forward to future chapters of making a difference in our communities and helping our clients achieve their financial goals for generations.
Premier Equestrian is the leading provider of arena footing products in North America, featuring a full line of footing products to fit any budget. From home arenas to prestigious events, like Major League Show Jumping, Premier Equestrian is the company to rely on. Horse owners, trainers, and facility managers know the importance of good footing. It supports the safety and conditioning of their equine athletes. Premier Equestrian understands this too. Call us at 800-611-6109 or look us up at premierequestrian.com.
We have seen already here at Thunderbird Show Park. Only one clear round, that going to Erin Ballard, and the time has been influential as well. Carl Cook jumped clear over the fences but picked up 2 time penalties. Still to come, we have a fantastic list of riders and horses to bring you. We've got the likes of Alexis Sokolov, Jess Mendoza, who had that brilliant performance yesterday, helping Team Eye Candy to the win. Connor Swale is still to come, as is Kent Farrington, and Daniel Coyle still to come as well. And the list of horses is equally as impressive. We've got the likes of Benita van Kaiserhoff, who is with Ali Ramsey, of course. Jordan Coyle brings his 5-star Grand Prix winner from 2022, Ariso, forward. They're certainly going to be ones to watch as well. And finally, the final rider to enter this ring today will be Kent Farrington, bringing his 9-year-old Greyer. That is another combination that you are sure to want to keep on your radars. We've got some fantastic riders to come, fantastic horses to come, and the action will still be continuing here in this beautiful sand ring as the sun goes down on Thunderbird Show Park.
Well, thank you, Hannah. Let's take a look at what's left to come on the order for the Grand Prix here this afternoon. One clear, as Hannah says there, with Erin Ballard. Still those on the order books are Alexis Sokolov, Kelsey at EBZ, Jessica Mendoza of Great Britain and Play. Really big jumping combination. And riders from our world's top 10. Connor Swale of Ireland, one of those that goes 21st in the order here, and taking us down to World Championship riders like Lily Keenan and Amy Miller, Patricia Pascal also with a World Championship ride behind him. American Gold Cup winners Shane Sweetnam, James Can Cruz also finishing onto the podium in Geneva last season as well for that terrific, really good looking pairing, and that's one to watch out for. Andrew Burns goes 27th of the order, and then into our final group as well coming up. We'll see us into those best in qualifying coming into this Grand Prix who could well shape this yet, right the way down to Kent Farrington and Greer. Greer, though, with a little less experience, but in the very capable hands of Kent, that went really nicely here earlier on the week into the qualifier. Charlotte Jacobs, Edo Centre have been solid all week too. Daniel Coyle Legacy, his World Championship ride, goes 31st as it is on the order here. And Kyle King, the man who dominates many of those classes down in California, is into our final four as well, and not of course overlooking Dara Kenny and Vancouver Dreams right here near Vancouver. Might be well named, we will see. Greer, I'm glad to say, isn't well named for the weather today. Beautiful blue skies up above us, but is well named for a fabulous grey horse that's coming out to the tail end. Canadians still with Cara Chad and Ali Ramsey to feature in the field, but Canada we're the only clear holding in this class so far as we've hit the halfway stage of this $414,000 Major League Show Jumping Grand Prix here this afternoon, part of the Canadian premiere for T-Bird, Thunderbird Show Park here in Langley, British Columbia. And as everyone reclaims their seats, we're moments away from getting back into action of this second half of round one. And just looking down on the course, Ollie Peterson, our course designer as well, just having a walk around, making a few final checks on track as well. And it's certainly been one that's had well spread fences down across the track. What more to come? Daniel Coyle, winner of the Grand Prix qualifier earlier on this week, has made the switch onto Legacy from Gisborne VDL, which he won with. And there's going to be some switching around too from those qualifying horses into the Grand Prix here too, from one or two others. So lot to face up to. One clear out of the bag, but coming into our strongest hot form riders into this second half. Ed Holloway alongside, as you can see from our graphic, and as I can see sitting alongside me as well. Fingers crossed for the rest of them. Alexis Sokolov goes in now for the US rider with the Hot Horses LLC's Calciate EBZ from Rancho Santa Fe, California. Finished well into a 5-star Grand Prix at the Desert Horse Park down in California in December last year, and has had some good team results. Has been training with Connor Swale as well, and this is one I think could come out the bag with a round that we'll see, a good round, maybe clear, maybe four, but I don't think much more than that. We'll see.
There are some world-class combinations. Welcome back, everybody, to this second half of this very first of the Major League Show Jumping Series for this year. This jam-packed second half in terms of quality. James Can Cruz, one of the classiest young horses in the world at the moment, to come with Shane Sweetnam. Yes, Alexei Sokolov gets us restarted. 22 years of age, from High Point Farm Rancho Santa Fe in California. This young mare, she's 10 years of age, produced by Gregory Watherley and Connor Swale, who trains Alexei Sokolov. They had some very good Major League form last year. They were 5th in the thermal leg early December of the Major League Show Jumping's Grand Prix, and off to a good start this afternoon. But already, Steve, I'm thinking about the time. This horse quite steady out of the blocks.
So yeah, it is a tough time allowed to get.
It's kind of dwelt in the corner, that big triple bar.
Yeah,
but clears it with bags of room.
And just drops that one, as have done several so far.
But a very good round here for Alexia at just 22 years of age. She will be happy on reflection.
It says, come back to me. It's going to be close on time. Final couple of fences are then, yeah, things just starting to get strong and a little bit untangled towards the tail end there, and so we'll leave them with one time fault to add as well. 13 in total, 73.80 coming into that final line. They were on the 4 that I was saying might be a good day at the office for them, but things just coming a little bit unravelled in terms of balance and holding it together at that final stage. And again, they're not all used to jumping some of these big Grand Prix that maybe at 3-star you're jumping 12 numbered fences, maybe 15 jumping efforts. Suddenly you're jumping 16, 17, 18 jumping efforts on a 14 fence course, usually about 17. And it's suddenly that next step up from that point of view. 17 jumping efforts on this one here this afternoon. So Alexis Sokolov heads on out, and Zuma Gallagher now. Kalakas Daubigny, you'll probably say this one better than me as you're from that part of the world. And it's Blue Gate Stables owned for our next to go from Windsor, California. Consistent top 10s throughout Thermal and San Juan Capistrano as well, coming into their first 5-star Grand Prix as well. And this a horse and rider combination been together since November of last year. And first time on to Major League as well for Zuma Gallagher of the USA.
Yes, this is another young combination. Zoom, 26, and Kalakas Daubigny, 11 years of age. It's a good start, this little Self-Francais chestnut. Little Self-Francais, you think to Hermes Ryan Simon de Lestro's great campaigner who retired from the sport not long ago. Got plenty of scope.
The balance looking good so far.
But again, as we're seeing, it's a real endurance test out there this afternoon from Olaf Peterson. This far clear, but now just keep it up into the home stretches.
Another one just clips down early into that Oxer. Just they get in there, get a little bit strung out, and then it's just needing enough power to get across the back bar, and the one just catching it.
And only her 6th year internationally jumping, so yeah, it's a monster course with relative inexperience.
No, she's done very well. That's another one that's falling on a regular basis now, but coming home on the 8 faults there at 74.53. Crowd appreciative once again. They're seeing how tough it is here this afternoon. It's not given away by any stretch of the imagination, and leaves them with a couple of time as well at 10 there at 74.53 for Zuma Gallagher and Kalakas. So still with Erin Ballard holding at the only clear at the moment. It's just getting tight down that line all the time.
Yes, the jump off forwards in sole occupation of Erin Ballard with her wonderful gag here, still the only clear, but that's a young combination for the future, no doubt. Zuma Gallagher has 10 with Kalakas Daubigny.
Great Britain's Jessica Mendoza. And the simply named Play.
Gallop, Play, these are the names.
I love them, love them. We've had Amir, we've had Beneficial. Yeah. One word, brilliant. Play has been brilliant as well down in Wellington, Florida. Finished second in a big class there down into the Grand Prix qualifiers. Recently finishing well into the Grand Prix in Lexington, down in Kentucky as well. Based these days in Wellington, Florida, for the British rider who's been on to European teams. Going back to 2015, had a tremendous youth career, but well established now as a senior rider, and has established her reputation here in the USA as well.
Yes, this is the son of Louis Dam, Guidam's son. You think to Joran Bengtsson, Ninja Lasilla, silver in Hong Kong, behind Hickstead and Eric Lemaz. The Dam side here again, Diamond Semi crops up, and it's a very good start here. But Jess Mendoza just anchors him down the double.
Nice. Jess has been reshaping the string over the last couple of years, and is now looking very solid.
And it's also only 11, so light enough in mileage. No. This endurance factor keeps coming up here time and time again.
Just gets tight down that line. They're all just coming, well, I won't say all, but the majority finding a struggle to find the key down that line. So 2 down in the final run, 8 faults there for Jessica Mendoza and Play.
Just slight home inside time as well by 0.45 a second only.
And she's not
time penalty.
Generally not one that hangs around either, but pace-wise maybe a little bit back from her usual pace again as they get used to this level. Well, number 8, Connor Swale of Ireland, based in Wellington, Florida, lives over here. Lives down into the United States. Count me in, 60% of the time out of 85 rounds they've jumped clear. This is a fabulous combination. Strings of wins together on this horse that's now 16 years of age. Finished top 10 at the World Cup finals before now. Won the World Cup qualifier in Washington, and that's just added to a long list here. This venue as well was one that he's won World Cups in, Grand Prix in. Very much a happy hunting ground for him, as is down in Thermal in California. And so this is one to keep an eye on. Count Me In has been going well in the last few months, as they done. Had little few blips down in Wellington, Florida. I think they got the train back on the tracks as well. So we'll see how they perform here.
The man from St Phil, County Down, initially started as a kid at the Royal Dublin Horse Show, watching there at 6. That inspired him to the very highest reaches, the highest echelons of world show jumping. It's a great combination. As Steve said, a little bit patchy the form of late, but they're world class.
Oh, win after win after win after win, and when you get into a purple patch, that is another one down. Nothing too much wrong with that, but
yes, again, just tells the story of the scope and the size of this course of Olaf Petersen. It's a monster for this first of the Major League Show Jumping Series for this year.
just coming home on the 4 pulse, and that leaves you in some good money if you can hold that together. Plot the way through, just gives a little push there down that line to try and get there, and unfortunately it cost them. It is on 8, 69.75. So it is 2 down for Connor Swale. He goes into 5th place at the moment. And again, not a lot wrong with that round at all. But it will still leave 2 on the floor. But it's staying consistent with what we've seen from all this afternoon.
And just starts leaving you thinking, how many clears will we end up having? It's becoming a mighty test out there. Some world-class pairs still to come, and this one of them.
I was nearly going to stick my neck out with a number there. Erin Ballard with that clear. A nice, welcoming round of applause for Tiffany Foster, one of the local stars here, but a global star. Tiffany, the Canadian with the Artisan Farms Northern Light, but hailing originally from this area. Her mother very much involved in the running of these events, along with the Tidball family and the wonderful family atmosphere and friendship of the T-Bird venue and family as it is here. But when I say family, I mean extended of those all involved in it.
There's Canada now, the home nation, trying to have it all their own way with the world number 52. 38-year-old Tiffany Foster set sail. And there's wonderful Northern Lights. It's a quick enough start here.
Yeah, pace-wise should be good. Little touch.
But I'm liking it, Steve. They've got a real energy about them, real positivity.
Through some of the main hurdles so far. Again, this should keep it tense for the local crowd. Good shot at the 6 down the line there, and this is looking very, very good. 70.94. She shows them how to do it. Tiffany Foster on home ground adds the second of the clears, so 2 in for Canada now.
Yes, Canada starting to run away with the show. That was brilliant from Northern Lights and Tiffany Foster. Really good. Second clear. We have to wait quite a few, Steve. That is combination number 20. It's only 1 in 10 jumping clear rounds this afternoon.
All right, I'm going to stick my neck out 5.
I think 5. I was thinking 4 or 5. I think that's this pair we would certainly put a dollar bill on the table.
Absolutely, might even more than that.
I would.
Shane Sweetenham, James Can Cruz for the Gizmo partners, and for this 10-year-old gelding that, if you haven't seen already, and I don't want to build it up too much, but is a top-class looking combination. The 9-year-old went to the American Gold Cup, plotted their way well around there, won there, second in a 5-star Grand Prix in Wellington, on the podium in Geneva as well, indoors back into December, finished top 3 recently at the Invitational in Kentucky in front of the big crowds there into the Rolex Stadium, and has certainly been one of the horses everyone's been talking about in the last 12 months. But for everybody, it's always back to square one and how it goes on the day. But there's certainly has some good form to come into this.
Yeah, there's a couple of horses on the world stage of this kind of vintage that are of this outstanding quality. Cayman Jolly Jumper, the other horse, Simon Lester, that comes to mind in this same bracket of elite quality. James Can Cruz away for the world number 10, Shane Sweetenham. Try and not give the home nation, not allow them to run away with this Grand Prix. Third at home as well in the Royal Dublin Grand Prix last summer. Power, extraordinary.
Yeah, just does it with such ease, and that's when you see that level, whether it's this or an Explosion or a King Edward. Whoa.
Yeah, these are
see the
elite
class.
horses, yeah, they're just a
different gear.
Yeah. James Can Cruz, son of Canaan, is operating as you'd expect from the man from County Cork initially.
Shot to it, just says wait, because he knows he's got the power there. Oh, he's okay.
Just okay.
Just okay. 72.87.
Our money was fluttering on the table, Steve. 0.13 of a second. We are saved by a slither.
So,
becoming poor men.
James Can Cruz, yeah, he just gives a little shake of the reins there. He knew he was close for Shane Sweetenham. But well plotted round. It's a good combination of talent. A top-class rider, top-class horse. It's lovely to see those in action, and it is fabulous when you start to see that level of jumping. But we've got a few more to come in there. But that is a special combination together. James Can Cruz, Shane Sweetenham, and the clears coming now. Tiffany Foster and Northern Lights, Erin Ballard and Gakia. Shadows lengthen into the day here. 6:10 local time here at Thunderbird. So class now really starting to come to the top. Still though, strong groups to come. Amy Miller, Lily Keenan, Andrew Bournes, Santiago Lambre, Daniel Corn. I'm just picking out a few here. And then down to Kent Farrington and Greyer.
Yes, and not to overlook, Steve, we've still got the defending champion who won this Grand Prix last year, Jordan Coyle, third from the end of this first round with Arioso. He's been in good form this week, the Irishman, trying to join Shane Sweetenham into our jump.
Patricia Pascal, Serengat, good experienced horse now. 17 years of age and an experienced rider as well. Competed at the World Championships last year with Babel. And that horse has been a little bit on the sidelines recently, and turning to this very experienced rider that's been with several of the top five-star riders. And Patrizio, part of the silver medal winning team at the Pan Ams in 2019 as well. And a good campaigning combination to go to.
An impressive Patricio Pascal, because he's an amateur, CEO of a string of companies as well in Mexico, as well as his top-class show jumping career. And that memorable Aga Khan win the Nations Cup in Dublin. Mexico struck gold in 2018. Patricio part of that team. One of his, I'm sure, career absolute highlights. Serengat is on course for the 51-year-old, but no early blemish, I'm afraid, at that. Ascending Oxa. The Cabana Coast Oxa falls at 1.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard, because 4 faults at the moment. There's only actually 2 on 4 faults. And that's going to go up to 8 faults. 8 faults has been, it felt like there's been more people on 8 faults, but there's only been 3 of them, and then the scores have got bigger from there, going up to 12 for Patrizio. And I think he might say, I think we've done enough today. Yeah, not quite working out. He knows at this point he's not making any great progress. And so, by the looks of it, retiring for Patrizio Pascal and Seringat. That gives me time to just spin back. 3 clears at the moment. Shane Sweetnam, James Can-Cruz, Tiffany Foster, Northern Lights, Erin Ballard and Gakia. Carl Cook on the 2 time faults with Kalinka. Alison Robitaille is the best of 4 faulters in 5th place at the moment. Mario Delore on the 6th position on 4 faults with Emerson. And then Connor Swale and Jessica Mendoza. $414,300. Not rounded one way or the other, just to the zeros.
Yes, Seringat 17, so nothing to prove for Patrizio Pascal. Warm afternoon, he understandably not in that hunt for the big dollars this afternoon. Retires.
Amy Miller is certainly not in retiring mode, having won yesterday as part of the team competition, or for Team Eye Candy. Brought home the winning round there for Amy, for the Canadian Olympian. Millbrook Farm and Overland's Truman. Truman, 48% of the time jumping clears out of 139 rounds. So one of the more seasoned combinations together. Compare that against the likes of Legacy, that comes up later with Daniel Cole, 144. But then others are sitting at everything around the 30-40 mark from that point of view. And so Amy from Perth, Ontario. Olympics and World Championships she's competed on.
Yes, and this horse was her ride in Herning, so a world-class pair here. We would think towards our 4th clear, and potentially the 3rd for Canada.
So far, but is it just a little deliberate? One of the few to have that down. I was thinking more about the time.
Yeah, it's a real traditional course designer's trap, triple combination, then a sharp right hand to the plank, so a real transition there between power and then accuracy.
Coming on the 4, and she knows 4 faults as well will get her in some good money, so just keep it calm to the last. Might just squeak in. Yes, they do at 72.17, just finishing on the 4 there for Amy Truman. She's in the money into 7th place at the moment. A little look here, didn't do an awful lot wrong, just a very light rub at the plank, but unfortunately that's all it needs.
Yeah, this course just requires absolute perfection time and time again for 70 plus seconds. Just the one down for the World Championship combination for Canada.
This is the USA's Lily Keenan,
Just 4 more to come for the USA as they look for their opening clear this afternoon, and the world number 35 takes centre stage. World champs for Lily Keenan last year in Herning. A New Yorker initially, spends most of her time between Wellington and her base in Europe as well. Faster it is for Lily Keenan. Can we secure our 4th clear of this first of the Major League Show Jumping Series for 2023?
Yeah, Monterey Grand Prix winner last year. She did so effectively with Queensland E. That was similar money there. 2 weeks in Monterey last year down in Mexico. It's that historic venue. It's staged many major big 5-star Grand Prix over the years, and there's a long list of winners that reads as a who's who of the sport. Little skip there.
Yeah, set up a nice style faster. Here's Pricked, looks game and up for this big challenge of this Grand Prix first round. Yeah, living up to his name, I think he's about on target with the time as well.
She's kept a pretty good pace here so far and pretty efficient. Nice turn down that line. Didn't waste anything there either. Just can't afford. There is literally no meat on this bone that you can leave time-wise. It's got to be the shortest route around. By the looks of it, there is no time to waste. And this is looking very effective so far. Whoop. Steady the line. Ooh, just going to leave them a little close. Oh! 73 seconds on the button. Perfect timing, Miss Keenan. Time allowed is 73 seconds, so that will still give them the clear. If they had gone a split second further into that, that would have not been. But they all count.
What a good round, and the USA get a entry through to the jump off here in Thunderbird. Brilliant from Lily Keenan and faster.
Yeah, 4 clears now. Lily Keenan alongside Shane Sweetnam, Tiffany Foster and Erin Ballards, playing out a little of some of those names that we might have expected to come into this.
That's about as on pace as you can get. Let's welcome our next entry now. Andrew Bourne.
Andrew Bourne's of Ireland, US based, as well as are the Irish riders that we see through this list. And in Wellington, Florida. Wellington, Florida, just a hot base of where many spend their time, of course, with a whole list of shows there throughout the winter. They base out of many for much of the season now. And another one that has that first rail down, just gets a little steady to that first with C Top Blue. Andrew was on the winning team here last year for the Nations Cup for the Irish.
Yeah, brilliant talent from Galway initially. From a long line of equestrians. He's a 4th generation equestrian family, part of that big family. Won the World Cup in Bromont, was his first big win in 2016. Great win last year, Steve. The Net Jets 4-star Grand Prix at Wellington.
Yeah.
The son of Chaco Blue, I'm afraid, has another error at 7. The plank starting to go with increasing regularity.
And again, this is one that's been picked up as one of the current best offspring of Chaco Blue right now, which is one of the most prolific stallions in the world, so it's shown the quality. Again, just like all of them, not having the easiest day at the office, and again, not put too much of a foot wrong. It's hard.
Yeah, that is the simple explanation.
And it should be for the money and everything else involved in it that goes with it. Finishing on a total of 16, 70.81. 16 for Andrew Bournes and C Top Blue for the Irishman. So holding at the 4 clears so far. 2 for Canada, 1 for Ireland, 1 for the USA.
Adding the American flag to our jump off international competition.
Yeah, because this course, I think fair to say, it's got all of the components. It's big, it's technical, and it's lengthy as well, so there really is no respite out there this afternoon. Plus a warm afternoon just adds to the factors that make this a really, really top-end difficulty Grand Prix, as it should be.
Cara Chad of Calgary. And Cara, again, as we get down into this group, we're coming into those that did well in the Grand Prix qualifier, and maybe into yesterday's qualifying class as well, because their best scores coming through. Cara was top 3 in the qualifier here back onto Thursday. World Championship rider back in 2018. Finished 3rd in the Grand Prix in Spain in March this year, so has been over there in Europe. And back to home ground. Cara with Kidarmo F.
Cara Chad's trained with some legends. Eric Lamaze, 2015, had several years with Eric. And then Ben Mayer, had 4 months with Ben a couple of years prior to that, part of a gap year. Now runs Maple Park Farms in the UK with her partner Matthew Sampson.
Matthew currently was over in Rome, jumping at the Nations Cup show there. Winner of the London Grand Prix.
This is a good horse here, so maybe Canada can dream of a 3rd clear to really start to turn the screw on a home victory this afternoon for this packed crowd. Would be exciting. They're having a great afternoon.
Again, just going to have a think about time around here as well. Puts a lot of pressure on. So coming out really strongly in that qualifier against Daniel Coyle earlier on this week. Ah.
Yeah, it's a real shame because I thought this horse was looking in his comfort zone, but the plank now starting to become regular casualty.
And 8 Faults is keeping them in the money at the moment. Final Fence still sees them with a little bit of time to add there as well. So 8 Faults is 75.15, so a little bit to add for time takes them to 11 for Kara Chad and Kidamo F. And Ed joined in the box by Niall Nasser. Niall, good afternoon to you.
Hey Stephen.
How are we doing? Niall, from your point of view, you're having to sit it out this afternoon. You've had an injury recently as well. You've been riding here, but are you glad to be in or out this afternoon?
It's a mixed bag. This is definitely a tough class, so not the worst one to sit out, but the competitor in me definitely wants to give it a go. Just nursing this adductor injury right now, jumping the smaller classes, but it doesn't quite feel ready to jump big, so erring on the side of caution.
For you, what have you made of what you've seen?
This is a tough course. When I walked it, I was already pretty impressed by the dimensions, first of all, especially relative to what we've been jumping this week. Second of all, this is quite a small ring, so it rides a lot like an indoor, and this course is built a lot like an indoor. You see everything coming out of the corners very quickly. Most of the lines are related. It's a long course with 14 obstacles, and there's quite a bit of width on all these oxers. So it's a big test that Olaf has set, and as you can see here with Santiago, a very experienced and skilled rider is having a tough time here with this.
Okay, well, unfortunately not quite working out for Santiago, as we'll make way there.
First round of competition.
So Santiago stepping aside there. Niall, you're just saying, it's a tough afternoon at the office. What's your overall thought?
Definitely, yeah. It's a tough course, especially for this small ring. A lot of things coming up very quickly. A lot of lines are related. Pretty much the whole course, bears effect on the next obstacle to come. So, it's tough jumping today, as it should be for this level of competition, of class. But as you can see by the number of clears, people are struggling.
Yeah, and I'm going to pick out that line from the triple bar down to 9A and B. You can get the vertical, but it's hard getting the oxer.
Correct. So that line walked exactly 7.5. So you do have enough curve there. Depending on how big your horse's stride is, you can opt for the 7 or the 8. Obviously, if you come in for the 8, you're coming in quite slow, and that oxer does get pretty wide to cover. That being said, if you come in on 7 and you don't make it patient enough, you're coming in with too much speed and you're running out of room at B and still having the back rail. So it's kind of a catch-22 there. Whatever number you decide on, you have to do it extremely well to get that double out of the way.
Well, Ali Ramsey on course at the moment now, and recent winner of the 3 stars in Kentucky, finished well in Toronto for the Canadian rider back at the indoor there. So this might well be up their street as well with Bonita from Victoria, British Columbia.
Yeah, this is a lovely horse, smaller type, very compact. I would imagine she's going to opt for the 8 here. Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now she has to press out. It looks like she might have, did she get away with that?
I think she did just about.
Yeah. Putting together a very strong round here. This mare is such a fighter. Ali as well.
And this line here has been another one that's been a kicker.
Yeah, end of the course, going away from the gate. The horse has already done a lot of jumping by this point. And that line for everyone watching at home, that walks a bit loose in 6 to the skinny, which is never ideal because you always want to come to that jump slowing down to get them to jump up towards you. So, that first oxer is a skinny oxer. It's not very wide. So the horses land quite shallow there and end up having to chase up to that skinny. And then that final line, it walked a very normal 4, but because they're coming in with so much pace, that 4 is actually getting quite short, and unfortunately, Ali pays the price.
I was going to say, distance-wise, it's 90 metres, which, is a pretty standard 4 from that point of view. You're coming 27 metres down there, so, 6, 7 playing it into that region, but he's only got your fence 12 at 1 metre 20 spread.
Exactly.
So it starts to look like a vertical, but you need a little bit more to get across.
That's exactly right.
Daniel Coyle and Legacy. Daniel with his World Championship ride, world number 20 right now, owned by Ariel Grange of here in Canada as well, Cheltenham, Ontario to be exact. Winners in Toronto of the World Cup qualifier there, won very well Desert Horse Park before that, and won the qualifier, but switched horses with Gisborne earlier on this week, now with Legacy. But this is another one into that really top horse category.
For sure, this is an elite combination. Daniel is on an unbelievable run of form. Seems to win a class or 2 anywhere he goes. This is his top horse, I would say.
Yes.
He's kept it, very saved up for this class. He hasn't done a whole lot with her this week. But, a combination that know each other inside out. You can tell this horse has tons of quality, giving these jumps loads of air. Daniel's always cautious to keep him quite straight. He does have a tendency to drift a little bit in the air, but he's putting together a really solid round here. The horse just keeps jumping better and better.
And as Daniel said to me in an interview earlier on this year, it's the temptation to bring this horse out all the time, but this is the big occasion. This is when to do it.
For sure. Let's see if he can put these last 2 jumps together. You see that right drift there. He's really going to have to keep... Gosh.
Going to be on the 4 there, but you saw it there coming down, just that little move to the right, and there's no room for error down here.
That's the thing, yeah. When the horse starts to lean in one direction, especially when you're jumping into the corner there, you're kind of pulling them away from their natural movement, again, which is probably to avoid the standard there, and you're trying to make the horse's job easier, but then they're kind of leaning into the direction they want to go. You're leaning against them, and then all of a sudden, you're struggling to get across the jump.
And all of that, when you're down at that point, is centimetres the wrong way.
Right, and on a short 4 stride, you have absolutely no room to create any jump there. So. Tough break for Daniel. That was a very good round otherwise.
5 left into the first round, and on to Charlotte Jacobs of East Aurora, New York, with the North Stars Edo Center. Both her parents competed very successfully, and the whole family's very much into it. Her uncle Charlie also being a top rider into World Cup finals as well. But she has been on tremendous form. She came through onto Nations Cups last year for Team USA. This is the 11-year-old mare for Charlotte. And finished well into a number of Grand Prix. Their second 5-star Grand Prix here today, but was in top form yesterday in the team class as well. She's coming in with confidence.
It's really been fantastic to see Charlotte, a very talented young rider with a great group of horses right now. She's just gone from strength to strength, it feels like, this year. This is probably, one of her first years doing this 5-star level pretty consistently, but she definitely looks like she belongs. She's been putting together some fantastic rounds on both of her horses that she has here. This one and Rinkula Milshawn, a super competitive younger horse of hers. So it's really been great to see. They've done a great job over there with her. She's riding fantastic. Hopefully she can get this out of the way here. Beautiful 6 strides up the inside line. This is a big mover. I would imagine we see 7. Wow, gets away with that. And she opts for the extra. That was a good call. She's just going to be a little up against the clock here. It's a bit of a slower mover. It takes a bit of time in the air. She has to be very conscious of the time allowed. She's been very efficient through most of the turns. Just keeps coming there out of the corner. Kind of gets the horse on the front end instead of the hind end, and he just jumps at that. That was too bad.
Finished on the floor, that's 72-23 for Charlotte Jacobs and Edo Center. So still leaves us at the 4. Niall, thank you for joining us. We're going to let you have a quick stint there and then go and have a little rest again, but we're looking forward to seeing you in action over the coming months.
Thanks so much, Stephen. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And so Charlotte Jacobs there, finishing on the 4 faults. Another very good round from them as she goes into 9th place as it stands at the moment. And there with our top 10 still seeing with the 4s there. 8 faults is still in our top 12 at the moment. Connor Swale and Jessica Mendoza. And from there it is the 4 clears with Erin Ballard, Tiffany Foster, Shane Sweetnam and to Lily Keenan. Kyle King then, and Kyle of Florida with the Chess Group's Chess. Been a good experience combination together now. Last 12 months been building up. Horses come through several riders, including Kent Farrington and Norman De La Joyo. And Kyle again based himself down on the west coast very successfully. Finished 6th in the Grand Prix at the Nations Cup in San Juan Capistrano just a few weeks ago. So getting into our closing stages, first of 4 left to go, Ed.
Yes, 4 clears. The last 4 we welcome Kyle King off to a great start with Chess, 48 years of age. Like Charlotte Jacobs again, from an equestrian family. His father an equestrian professional with a training and sales business when he was a kid. Only their 2nd season together though, so again relatively youthful partnership. But this horse sadly faltered out of the treble. Competed at 6 legs of this Major League show jumping series in its 2nd year last year. We're now in year 3. First blood out on the course, sadly exiting the treble. But again, that's order of the day.
As Niall just saying, hard to have that balance down that line. Still, as I say, 8 faults in the money at the moment. This one going to be a little bit behind that on time. It's going to pick up some time faults there for Kyle and Chess. Not quite gone their way today. 76.62 and a total of 12 for Kyle. So puts him a little bit further down the order. Still holding at the 4 clears.
Yes, demanding the home nation with the 2 clears. Erin Ballard, Tiffany Foster, Shane Sweetnam with his legendary James Can Cruise, the Irish Hope. And the last clear of that for Lily Keenan has the USA still in the mix here with Faster.
So last year's winner, Jordan Coyle, but that was on the grass. That was out on the big grass arena here. They've got several arenas, multiple arenas here at T-Bird, and a little bit of a change around this year. Shadows lengthening out on the what's called the Thunderbird arena here on the surface, and a Riso for Jordan for the Land Farm of Newark, New Jersey. And so 25% they produce the clears. And for them here, again, they've shown good form through Major League. Just as a pair that might just want to be careful of the time here as well, but as they all are happy to be at the moment.
This man's very first 5-star Grand Prix win, so he's got fond memories of the Major League, was in 2021. That was down in Thermal, his first big taste of the big time. Ariso trying to join James Can Cruise for the 2nd horse for Ireland. Jordan seems to have that perfect, very calm, phlegmatic Irish disposition. So many of their top riders laid back. That's the juggle. Fiddler stride a little bit down to the plank, but we are still sitting with our 5th clear here.
Good at the moment. Unfortunately, we've had a few down this line that are being caught out. Well, it just gets too tight for them down there as well. I did wonder, and it is going to be 4. 70.92, they were good for time, but a fence down there, as Niall was explaining, it's just very hard down that final run. It gets so tight down there, coming off the corner. And there's, well, another one that drops down to the 4 field. Still will put him in the money with Jordan Coyle on the 4 with Ariso going into 7th place at this point.
It's just a very long way home, and we sadly say farewell to the defending champions. The penultimate goes for Ariso and Jordan Coyle.
2 left on the starting order, and then the 2 best in qualifying as well. So the hottest of the hot formers coming at this point with Dara Kenny of Ireland. And finally, Kent Farrington of the USA. Dara with Vancouver Dreams. again, strong group of clears, 81% out of 11 rounds. So not too many rounds, but they've gone pretty well so far. Pairing that won a Grand Prix down in Wellington in the 4-star earlier on this year. One in Miami as well, and obviously went well here this week in the qualifiers.
Dara Kenny on course, a regular member of the world's top 10. He's number 28, just dropped out of the top echelon momentarily. This is the former Max Kuna ride at Vancouver Dreams. Treble winner for Dara this year. Won the 4-star Grand Prix in Wellington as well. Yeah, so another one of the tip favourites. Steve into hot water early as well.
Yeah, just puts
Dara's
the hand
seen
up.
enough.
Said no, it's not working out. So holds at the 4.
But that just speaks volumes again about the strength of this course as a seeded pair, highly seeded.
Yeah.
Dara Kenny just says no, that's thank you.
Well,
enough.
and obviously just felt not quite right there. It just has the brick on the wall. Didn't get the shot they wanted down to the Oxer, and said, okay, this isn't going to work. Let's have a look. It's tight up to that same weight.
And you stuck your neck out, Steve, with 5. We've got one more to come with 4 clear, so maybe here, and you're in the hands of Ken Farrington.
Well,
your
it's fairly safe. It's good
prediction
hands.
is in very good hands.
It's good hands, but it is a 9-year-old horse, Greya, and it is a lovely horse that won a National Grand Prix down in Florida this year. First 5-star Grand Prix for this horse, but that doesn't always mean a lot in the capable hands here. Kent's very good at plotting their way to the next level, and again has been producing them well through 3 and 4 stars from that point of view. So again, not to make it too much of a leap into that next stage, but this is definitely a step up for them. And for the man who won individual title before into Major League Jumping, but of course a long string of wins, everything from the Rolex Top 10 to Grand Prix wins in recent weeks down in Mexico at the Nations Cup there as well.
Yes, Ken Farrington will anchor the first round of this Major League Grand Prix here at T-Bird in British Columbia. Gritty, steely, and a real tactician, the man from Chicago. Get started. World number 9 on this 9-year-old Greya gets underway. 42 years of age. In the gym the other day, Steve, doing some outstanding acrobatic feats.
Oh, don't try and keep up.
Training.
Trailing you, don't try and keep up.
Handstands, press-ups in a handstand. I
it.
was like, wow, this is serious stuff here.
I've seen some
No
of it on
stone
his Instagram
unturned.
before now as well. But the whole point is balance, and that's where he's so good. Core balance, and having control over every element of yourself to be able to translate that to the horse.
And giving this young Greya a masterful ride here, as you would expect. Ken Farrington is still clear.
No, he's not. So it's going to be 4. Again, Kent giving this horse a very good ride, a good confident ride to build on. He's going to be in the money just on the 4 faults at 72.10. So 4 there for Kent Farrington and Greya. Concluding round 1 of this Major League Show Jumping Grand Prix here at the 50th anniversary event of Thunderbird. And so with 4 clears into the jump off, with Erin Ballard, with Tiffany Foster, with Shane Sweetnam, and with Lily Keenan as those produce clears. Carl Cook with the 2 time faults would finish into 5th place. Daniel Coyle in 6th with the 4. Jordan Coyle into 7th with the 4 as well. Alison Robitaille, good result for her, into 8th place as well. And Mario Tolore on the 4, and Ken Farrington into the 10th place with the 4 faults as well. Other 4 faulters, Charlotte Jacobs in 12th and Amy Miller. But those are the 4 that go through. We've got 2 for the home nation for Canada with Erin Ballard and Tiffany Foster. Shane Sweetnam and the superb jumping James Cancruz. And USA's Lily Keenan and Faster will be last to go into the jump off. Can she follow on from that success from Monterey? We will see.
Well, Kian, this has been a fantastic competition so far. Only 4 going through to the jump-off, though. And it's been a brilliant week here already at Thunderbird Show Park.
Yeah, it's been an amazing week. The team here has been awesome, and the sport's been great.
And tell us a little bit about the plans for the rest of the season, because what a way to kick it off.
Yeah, this is a great start. 10 tour stops, 11 million in prize money, some of the biggest Grand Prix in the world. Packed house today, which is awesome to see, and we're excited.
Some great horses and riders as well.
Yeah, we've got 4 of the top 10 in the world. Most of the top 100 in North America are here, so it's everything we could ask for.
And what about this team competition? Because these teams are looking stacked this year.
Yeah, the team last night was really exciting. Great way to kick it off. Eye Candy kind of felt like the underdog going first. A little bad luck with getting horses to the show and came out on top, and now everyone's chasing them.
Looking forward to leg 2.
I can't wait.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Hannah.
Clean energy is the way forward, and we're proud to lead the way across our global operations. With our Clean Energy Innovation Hub in Australia and hydrogen blending project in Fort Saskatchewan. By providing solar energy to households in Chile, delivering hydroelectricity in Mexico and Alberta, and helping remote Indigenous communities in Canada use renewable energy to reduce their reliance on diesel. ATCO. Always there, anywhere.
Well, what a tricky competition it has been so far. Only 4 through to the jump-off. Carl Cook, you very narrowly missed out on that jump-off. Just the time penalties.
It really hurts. Yeah.
Where do you think you lost the time?
I think there was 1 less to fence 3, maybe 1 less to the triple bar, 1 less to the 4th to last. Just little things here and there. No one place, just a little bit.
And this horse jumped fantastically, though.
I'm so proud of her. She just always jumps, always loves it, and it's the best feeling to ride her.
So despite the time penalties, you're still feeling pretty over the moon?
For her, yes. Just my riding wasn't good enough.
Well, who are you rooting for in the jump-off?
Shane.
Thanks so much, Carl, and good luck next time.
Thank you.
Well, what a competition it has been here already today. Only 4 clears. But of course, yesterday we also had the team competition. And what a performance we had from the teams in this first leg of the season. Team Eye Candy emerged victorious, with Amy Miller delivering that fantastic winning round in the gold medal jump-off. Of course, the team that just missed out on the top spot were the Crusaders. Grant Sager there taking on that gold medal jump-off and just unfortunately missing out with the 1 pole down. The Trailblazers, one of the teams that so many people were looking to as to have a brilliant performance this week, came home in 3rd. But actually in the medal jump-offs, their performance was really impressive, and they had an extremely fast time, but not getting through to the gold medal jump-off meant that they finished in 3rd. 4th place went to the Roadrunners. Again, a really strong performance from them, with some new riders on the squad as well. The shock of the week, though, was Team Helios. Last year's season champions, the winners of this leg last year, finished in 8th place. That means that Eye Candy have the advantage going into leg 2. They lead the way in the season standings, but the Crusaders and the Trailblazers are hot on their heels. We'll be bringing you the rest of the Grand Prix in a moment's time. So let's look ahead to the jump off. Only 4 riders are coming forward. The first of those, of course, is Erin Ballard. She was hoping to take a win as the only clear, but she's got 3 other riders to contend with in the jump off. The first of those will be Tiffany Foster, riding, of course, for the home nation of Canada. Shane Sweetenham for Ireland will be following, and then for the USA, Lily Keenan will be the final rider heading into that jump off. Some fantastic performances. The time was influential as well, and the time will be even more important in the jump off. A shorter course, fewer fences, but it's all about speed, and it's all to play for. Let's see how they get on.
For you. So you're done with the, how many more?
Well, getting set for that jump off, and final few fences are going into place. They're just doing the last bit of arena maintenance out here, and then it is battle commencing with 4 of them to go. 2 for Canada, 1 for Ireland, 1 for the USA. Home nation will potentially see, well, we've got 4 in there. We'll see one of the maple leaves up on the podium, at least from that point of view. Which direction they will go, and we will see. But Ed Holloway alongside me. Ed, let's have a look at the course. What have you got?
Yeah, Steve, the 4 will face a test of Olaf Peterson compressed format. The jump off over a track of 330 metres. They'll exit the last part of the combination. The trebles Oxa will start them off 6C and immediately into a turn back to now 7 at 160. The plank replaced by a pole on top of that, but a tight turn. Then comes another sharp turn the other way, back to that massive treble bar at 8, and then down to the second combination as it was in the first round. On the right of your picture, 9A, the vertical in, and one stride out over 9B. And then comes another sharp turn back to what was the penultimate. It is the vertical fence 13, very airy in its form, and 155 tool, and then back again, a very hard oblique line to come back to the second fence, reversed now. That is a T-bird vertical at 150, and then it's a right-handed, I think the first real gallop stretch, Steve, down to the last fence. That is the new fence at 17. The Major League show jumping Zoxa will bring them across the line. Big test, but that is the last real gallop opportunity.
Absolutely. So the question is how it will play out. They're going to come back into this double again as they did earlier on from that triple bar. How do they play it? Well, Erin Ballard will be the one to tell us, with Gakira's first out. Tiffany Foster second for the Canadians. So the 2 Canadian shots get to fire their rounds early on. Northern Lights, Shane Sweetenham, James Cran-Cruz, as we've seen already. We know we've got the scope. Have they got the pace here as well? And Lily Keenan and Faster is going to be last out there. Can she emulate that success that she had with Queensland E in Monterey? But that was a very different setting on the grass, but a different horse, different style, different everything else. Who knows? 4 that could do it. Could be any direction here. Not a big standout from this because it is high quality through those 4. Well done to them. And we've whittled it down from, 34 starters. 30 are now on the sidelines. Their place is all decided. And now 4 to decide on the podium. So 1 will be sitting off the podium at the end of this, but they'll still be sitting with a decent check because it's a $414,000, 300 and other dollars thrown into that as well to make the final total.
Yeah, Canada favourites in terms of numbers, with 2 opportunities for the home nation to claim this home Grand Prix here in British Columbia, 50th anniversary of Thunderbird. But they'll face that frightening combination of Shane Sweetenham and James Cran-Cruz. I think they'd have my money, Steve, but Gakia, we saw them at the World Champs last year with Erin Ballard. They're the most experienced pair, the Canadian pair, so we will see.
We will see. I would be doing a very big spread bet here because I could go in any direction. So let's lead it off with Erin Ballard and the Esperanza Imports Gakia to take us into this jump off. And this would certainly rattle the stands here if she can get home with a good clear and put the rest under pressure. This actually might be the advantage here of not seeing the others go, just sticking to your plan, go and do the job, and then see what the rest do. But with enough pace that they have got to maybe just be pushed into some mistakes, we'll see. But I say, high quality group of horses, high quality group of riders to round out this Major League Grand Prix here at T-Bird.
Erin Ballard already a super win with this Source Nations Cup in Wellington with Canada start of this year will show us the way.
where it all changes around.
And this is the really hard turn. It's a bleak turn, blind turn back to what was the second.
So the door's open. The question is whether it will turn into the last fence goes as well, because this is what you get from the first. Will it start turning into a race around the course, or is it going to turn into one of those you get your double clear and you get the job done? So finishing on the 8:37.07.
Just such a long way to navigate between those two verticals, and then that line so hard to cut back to what was the second. Uncouples the first rail down for Erin Ballard, our trailblazer in this Major League Grand Prix here at T-Bird.
Erin Ballard then laid down the challenge. Next to the Canadians, Tiffany Foster, Northern Light. What does she glean through that? And as I say, sometimes this can almost put you into a worse position depending on how much attention you're paying. You might pick up the odd little tip of, okay, they went that stride, that might work for me, but most of these riders at this point stick to your plan, go with it. The question is whether you're going to go flat to the boards or just say, do you know what, I think 2 clears here might be enough.
The double Olympian Tiffany Foster with this diminutive little Northern Light will be able to turn these sharp turns very tightly and effectively. Canada's home hopes here pinned with 38-year-old Tiffany Foster.
Nicely balanced.
Turns a bit tighter than Erin to the huge triple bar, and Northern Light clears it.
Nice and controlled so far. Goes a little bit wider here, maybe. Good shot across it though. But better than Erin, because she's still got a 0 score at the moment. That was where Erin's round started to fall apart. This is where this is all coming together. And a really good run from Tiffany Foster, 39.18, maybe leaves the door open for speed, because remember Erin Ballard was round in 37.07, but like I said, just back off a little bit, make sure you get it right, go with the precision, and that's what she did, just a fraction back in time. She's left the door ajar for the other two, but they've got to get it done.
Yeah, and a good point here, I think, for Tiffany Foster is that maybe she'll be thinking that Shane Sweetland will know that Lily Keenan's following him, so maybe we'll just go a little bit quicker. No, Lily's coming, maybe might run this horse if you can run James Can Cruz into a mistake. That is her hope, but this is a brilliant combination.
Brilliant combination with two to come, Islands, and then Lily Keenan for the USA. James Can Cruz, like we said, all the scope there to do it. It was interesting talking to Shane earlier on this season. When you end up with a horse like this, he's got all the ability, and Shane has all the ability, but it also puts you under the pressure then that you start to get that expectation of, well, it's got to come clear, it's got to come clear. They do it quite on a regular basis, but it's a different feeling. It's a nice feeling, but it's a different feeling.
Yes, this one of the wonderful horses in World Show Jumping, looking for their second Major League Grand Prix victory, having won at Traverse City September last year. Third, as we remembered, in the Grand Prix at Geneva. Behind McLean Ward, who goes for the Grand Slam in Aachen in just less than 1 month now. But here we go, James Can Cruz is off to a good start.
Oh, just get steady there. Gets caught up in the triple, just trying to take that quietly. So Tiffany Foster still in front. It would be a good one for her if she could get there, but Lily Keenan has still got to come out yet.
Yes,
Tiffany, though, very much on home ground.
Yeah, found a very much perilously deep spot into the triple bar that not even this horse could come out over without a penalty.
Nicely done at 38.80, and time again was faster, like I said, but that strategy paying off for Tiffany, like we said, might happen, of go for the clear, sit back, the others have got to do it. It wasn't easy to get the clear in the first place, but don't put yourself under double pressure. And at the end of the day, Tiffany at the worst now is going to be in second place.
Yes, and this afternoon will just continue to keep us on the very edge of our seats, if not falling off them. It's surprise after surprise in this Major League Grand Prix here at T-Bird.
Lily Keenan and Faster for the Shaznet Farm in New York, their home base there, and back to try and re-image that Grand Prix in her mind of that success in Monterey.
Yes, again, like Shane Sweetnam, bidding for her second Major League Grand Prix victory. Faster to take on the Canadian time here of 39.18. America goes head-to-head with Canada.
And already looks a good pace. Turn up.
The source naturally quick as they come down to the combination.
I can hear her from here with woes coming down that line. Wait.
15 seconds now for Lily Keenan to burn home hopes. No.
Oh no!
It's another huge surprise.
Doesn't get the turn. Just slides out. So that is going to be a lovely one, because Tiffany Foster winning a 5-star Grand Prix in literally her backyard here. Her mother's going to be making part of the presentation. She's had family here on so many occasions watching. Through the grandmother was here last year watching her in the Nations Cup as well. That's going to be a nice one. Sadly, doesn't work out for Lily Keenan on the fall there at 44.95. Went to get that turn. It didn't happen. The crowd now lifts up because they realise it's the home victory. But for the lady whose hometown literally comes to Langley through her family history, is lovely to see Tiffany Foster at the top of this Major League Grand Prix this afternoon, and taking the biggest share of that super run from these, taking a run at but this is Tiffany Foster and Northern Light with her winning round. It was plotted so impeccably round as well. Just gave herself a little bit of space here into the danger zone, and then again just keeping a nice balanced forward pace as she did to this. Just takes enough out of that line as she dare. Again, give yourself room here, and then just cruise down to the last, see the spot, pick it up, and so nicely done. So Northern Lights shines the lights across the arena tonight, and it is a home win for Tiffany Foster, and for the Canadian finishing top. Shane Sweetnam in second, James Can-Cruz. Still a good payday for him, but it is that one double clear that we mentioned might happen would be the winner. Lily Keenan in third in the end with Faster, and Erin Ballard into fourth place. Top 5 for Carl Cook, just had that 2-time with Kalinka. And sixth place to the Coyles. Daniel Coyle in sixth with Legacy. Seventh place with Jordan Coyle and Ariso. And eighth to Alice Robitaille. It is ninth then to Mario Delore, and 10th to Kent Farrington. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of celebrations going down into the warm-up. Hannah's going to catch up with our winner in just a moment's time as well. She'll have plenty to say on that, Tiffany, I know that. But it'll be bubbling over with excitement down there into that warm-up area. But Tiffany Foster brings it home for Canada here for this Major League jumping. It was tough, but that's what it was all about.
You couldn't write the script this afternoon. It's kept us compelled for over 2 hours, and two of the big favourites dropping out of contention in that jump off. Well done. It's a home win for the double Olympian. Tiffany Foster claims the first Major League show jumping Grand Prix of the year. Northern Light winning for Canada, and the home win is well and richly deserved.
Certainly is, and Tiffany Foster is going to be catching up with Hannah down at the entrance, and we're going to get her words to describe what it was like to win here on home ground here for Tiffany. Congratulations, as Canadian brings it home at the Major League Show Jumping Grand Prix.
Tiffany, wow. This is a big day for you. Tell us what it means to you.
I mean, honestly, I can't really put it into words because this means so much to me to do this here at home. I'm kind of like, I think I'm in shock.
And we can see the emotion there. This horse is so special to you.
Oh my God, today she was on another level. She just jumped unbelievable. She tried so hard. It was quite a big track, and I don't normally do her in these this big, but she rose to the occasion. I don't think she rubbed a jump today.
And certainly a ring that suits her.
Yeah, absolutely. I think small ring, sand, she's the most comfortable. So I've kind of aimed her at that, kind of tailored her schedule to what suits her, and it's paying off today.
How will you both be celebrating?
I mean, I don't know, probably go to the Bill and Bucket, my sister's restaurant at this horse show. Yeah, I'm very happy.
Well, huge congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Well done to Tiffany Foster, and the applause around the arena. The crowd staying to see all the accolades handed over, and we're getting ready for the presentations of this Major League Grand Prix here this afternoon. Well done to Ollie Peterson, our course designer. It certainly kept us, as you say, compelled for the last few hours. It made for a really interesting Grand Prix here, and sets the standard for the rest of the season, I think, as well. It's going to be a big season upcoming. This is stage 1 of Major League Jumping. 10 stages in all. That'll take us right the way through to California into December there as well. And with some big stops on the way. There's some big money coming up with the likes of the American Gold Cup in there, and the final stage into December, Gold Cup into September. We'll be along the way into Canada again, into August, with those stops in Ottawa and also at Angelstone as well, and it'll be an American stop next because we have a bit of a breather now. We go to early August to Traverse City, but we'll talk more about that as we roll through, as we head up to the Great Lakes Equestrian Festival there too. But a beautiful evening, perfect conditions, and yeah, it was sleeves rolled up and it was a bit of a fight.
Yeah, brilliant sport to think that 34 combinations started and only one double clear as we look at the final standings. Incredible with the class and calibre of the combinations. The one double clear enough to win the first Major League Grand Prix here at Thunderbird on home turf, home sand. Well done to Tiffany Foster.
Yeah, team just pulling the presentation together, and bearing in mind it's Tiffany's mum that looks after those presentations. Probably mixed emotions at this minute. Of, yes, I want to get on. We need to get on with this.
Hug my daughter whilst organise the prize giving.
Exactly.
Hug's probably taking some priority.
And I think a huge thanks as well to Jane Tidball and Chris Pack and all the family here. There are various families all involved of the events here at Thunderbird 2, and Major League team bringing the event here to this wonderful venue that's presented so well on this first stage of Major League Show Jumping for 2023. Coming in for the presentations then, and Lynn Foster leading in Tiffany Foster, I think, down there, and then the rest of our lineup, of course, with Shane Sweetnam in second, with James Cancruz, Lily Keenan in third with Faster.
Yeah, a bristling atmosphere. The home crowd, a big home crowd, have got what they wanted.
Yeah.
And it's great to see them. This wonderful T-Bird will be delighted, the home crowd, for the home victory.
Hey. How's it going? Good. Holding the mics for this show. Oh.
There's Mumblin in the hat, yeah, giving Tiff a kiss. Now come this way.
Push her
Do what Mum says.
You've done it, darling. Go on, go on. It's
Hang
all
on.
yours.
Not yet.
But not quite yet. It will be yours.
I'll put the champagne behind.
And our presenting party down there.
Just pop the cork this time, yeah.
So Jane Tidball that leads the team here at Thunderbird alongside Chris Pack, I think, just at the back there. Lynn getting her own standing ovation. And joined by the founders of Major League Jumping, Cian White and Matt Morrissey. And so going into third, Lily Keenan and Faster. Another solid finish for her of what's been a good year so far. And Shane Sweetenham, the ever-consistent James Cancruz. I don't think they've been off a podium yet.
No, his great run. His wonderful horse continues. Shane Sweetenham, Three Nations on our podium. Ireland in second.
And leaving it to an excited, you can see it, a little cringe down. Northern Light, Flea Artisan Farms, and I think a huge thanks to the Ziegler family have been so supportive of Tiffany and her team. Huge hug, as I say, it's very much an extended family venue here at Thunderbird. And I'm delighted Tiffany Foster receiving the award. And again, well done. The horse in the background to Northern Lights.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the Canadian riders sitting atop the podium, we do ask that you please rise once again, and please remove all caps and join us in the playing of the Canadian.
And so, the national anthem of the winning rider, which of course is Canada. Well done, Tiffany. And so, celebration time. She's usually a bit slow on the bottom. Oh, she's absolutely stuffed.
Thoroughly doused.
Too slow. Good old slug.
Is now back on the ponies, and more of that later.
I think there might be some celebrating for the Foster clan and extended team at Tiffany's stables. There's a base not too far from here these days as well. It's been spending a little bit more time able at the fabulous venue here with the big summer program that they have.
Somehow appropriate that on the 50th birthday of T-Bird it's a home victory.
It does seem appropriate, doesn't it? Yeah, a golden finish for the Golden Girl here at Thunderbird. 50 years celebrating in fine style with a massive Grand Prix win for their local girl, Tiffany Foster and Northern Light. As you say, great way to round off the 50th anniversary of this event, and the biggest money Grand Prix here of the year, going on home ground to Tiffany Foster. Great stuff. The maple leaf at the top of the flagpole. All feels right with the world in Langley. Well, lovely way to finish off the week here for the major 5-star classes here at the Thunderbird Show Park. Tiffany Foster getting the #1 spot in the 5-star Grand Prix. Thanks to the team here, and we'll be getting close to the wrap up and looking forward to our next stage, which will be in August, of course. And what a way to finish. A fairy tale start for the first Grand Prix of the season as the Canadian winner coming together for the opening stage of Major League Show Jumping. Safe trip wherever you're headed, and we'll see you on the next step along the line. But it wraps things up nicely. It is a hometown win here in the Vancouver stage of Major League Show Jumping. What a finish for Tiffany Foster.
Well, what a day. A fantastic win and a first 5-star Grand Prix win for Tiffany Foster here on home soil. Brilliant, brilliant performance there. And of course, in the team competition, Team Eye Candy reigned supreme. Our next stop will be at Traverse City. Do join us again then.
We have a new leader.